Hey guys, Professor Autoflower here, and welcome to the drying tent. And we are here looking at the ROCBUD Freebie, the Animal Mints crossed with Magic Cookies Auto. This was harvested about 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I had COVID at the time, so I just cut it and hung it up. It was done on around day 85 of flower. This photo period came out pretty decent, especially for my first one. The buds are extremely frosty. They didn't pack on the weight as much as I was expecting them to, but I'm thinking they're more of the skinnier type style buds, skinnier and longer, instead of those golf ball size nugs. Everything densed up pretty nice, even when we go more towards the bottom of the plant. We still have some of these popcorn type buds, but they even densed up pretty nice. So I'm not expecting many airy buds, which should lead to some decent numbers on the scales. Now, when it comes to smell, they are already smelling very nice without even being cured yet. I'm getting some chocolate and nutty notes with some skunky earth mixed in. I also ended up stealing a few of the smaller branches last night and put the buds on the press and got really good results. The Freebie dumps a lot of flower rosin, so I'm really excited to press some of these bigger buds. And finally, for today's video, I'm going to be getting the Freebie out of the drying tent, and then we'll be looking at a tool that the company Vevor sent me. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but they sell all different types of tools. They make them tough, they say, at lower prices. And yes, they even have some grow tools. Now, I have to say, these types of trimming tools don't get very much love on the internet. Vevor sent me a 16-inch bowl trimmer, which I'll be testing out today. I'll put some of the Freebie buds into the bowl trimmer, and I'll also hand trim some of the buds, and then we'll compare. And finally, I'll put everything on the scale. And before we see the bowl trimmer, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's go check out the trimmer. Vevor, tough tools, half price. Here we are, looking at the box. I'm not sponsored by this company. They offered to send me the bowl trimmer, and I said I would check it out. I'm assuming it's pretty similar to the other bowl trimmers on the market. This set actually comes with a few other tools. You can see the hand trimmers right there, and it also comes with a mesh drying rack that I already took out of the box. And here we have all the parts. You can see the handle right here, and you have 3 different types of blades. You got these little wire type blades for dry trimming. Then you got this blade here for semi-dry trimming, and then this other blade here for the wet trimming. The first thing I noticed when picking it up is it seems to be pretty well made. It's really heavy, nice and beefy feeling. So seems to be well made, so looking good so far, but let's get this thing together. So first thing, I'm going to be switching out the blade. I'm going to start off using the wire blade because I'm thinking the Freebie is pretty dry, so hopefully that wire blade trims it up nice and doesn't beat up the buds too much. And there we have it. Looks like this thing is put together and just needs some buds. So I'll take some of the ROCBUD Freebie buds, trim off some of these larger leaves, and then put the trimmer to the test. Okay, so I have my pile of buds here. I didn't use my best buds. You can see we still have a bunch here and still a bunch left on the plant. I'm going to put this pile of buds in and take the trimmer for a spin. So first thing I'm noticing is the pile is a little bit smaller than what went in. It really seems to beat up the buds like everybody claims it does on the internet, and I'm not too happy about that. A lot of these smaller buds I put in there probably got ground up and are now part of the trim. That might be okay if you like to make edibles, but I'd rather press those small buds. So for most of the buds I have left, I'm going to do a hand trim. I might put a little more back in the bowl trimmer. I'll just use a little less this time and see if the buds get as beat up as they did. But we'll compare when I'm finished. Here we are with the ROCBUD Freebie all trimmed up. And I have two piles, one pile that went in the hand trimmer or the bowl trimmer, and then another pile that was just hand trimmed. And if we compare buds from both piles, we can see the buds that were hand trimmed have a little more trichome coverage than the bowl trimmed buds. So that bowl trimmer definitely will sacrifice some of those delicious trichomes. I am also noticing a lot more stem showing on those bowl trimmed buds. So as these buds were spinning around in the trimmer, it was grinding up some of the lower buds. Next time when using the bowl trimmer, I might try taking off the blades and using just those rubber strips to trim the buds. That might help with some of the buds getting ground up on the bottoms. So now that we've compared the buds, let's get them on the scale and see what the total weight was for the ROCBUD Freebie. I also can't find my bigger bowl, so I'm going to have to weigh a little at a time and add up the weight. So let's go. And there we have it. The final harvest weight for the ROCBUD Freebie is 140 grams, so just over 5 ounces, using 3 gallons of soil for my first photo period. I was thinking I would get a little more, maybe closer to 6 ounces, but those buds really didn't fatten up like I thought. And when it comes to trimming with a bowl trimmer, I would say it's probably better to use when you need to harvest a bunch of plants, maybe 5 or 10 or even more. But when you're just harvesting one plant, I would say you're better off hand trimming. But for this specific bowl trimmer from Vevor, it's definitely a decent product. Doesn't feel like it's going to break anytime soon. Very well made and heavy duty. So a good product, but for the right application. So with the ROCBUD Freebie trimmed and this bowl trimmer tested out, this is where I'm going to end today's video. Make sure to tune in next time when we go back inside the grow tent and check on the Vanilla Fizz from Night Owl and the Sour Bubbly from Mephisto. We'll also see some LST from both. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.